really ironic because when we think about freedom in the form of ourselves or of our relationships, we think of it as the ability to be able to do whatever it is that we want, whenever we want, because we want. And if we don't have that ability, then we might have the potential of losing ourselves. And then we live our life, and then we lose ourselves. And why does this happen? Or why do we fear that we're going to lose freedom when we enter into relationships? Well, we go into it and we are assuming that we don't already have freedom within ourselves. Freedom is not a concrete thing. It is a mindset. And it is the ability to give ourselves permission to be in the exact human state that we are in, including all of the parts of ourselves, both socially desirable and non-desirable. It's the part of ourselves that is able to say, hey, this is what I desire. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm wanting to do. There is your freedom in your expression and being able to communicate and bring these forth. Now, you also have a partner who is in this shared experience with you. And yes, they have their thoughts and feelings just as much as you do. And they have the freedom to express themselves as well. Here's where our co-creation happens. We have the freedom to be able to vocalize what it is that I want. They have the freedom to vocalize what they want. These may be in alignment, and these may not be in alignment. And that is where we can then decide how we co-construct this. Okay, from from the space of authentic communication, then we can negotiate and move towards a shared common goal. But not until we have each given ourselves freedom and also the mindset of safety that we can bring up what is authentically going on within ourselves. Now, say those two things do not align. Say they are not the same. Then you each have the freedom to choose how to move forward with that. And that's where our values of the relationship come in. Well, I also have the freedom to decide which of these values of mine I want to tend to. The value of this container, of this relationship, or is it more important that I go do this thing over here? Or is it more of a value to tune in, to do exactly what it is because I want to, whenever I want to? You have the freedom to choose between those. And then choosing one of those, and choose them powerfully, you can move forward, knowing that you're still in alignment with yourself. And it becomes a lot easier to deal with the consequences of whatever those choices are when we choose from a place of empowerment and acknowledging our own freedom, and choosing which one is right action, meaning most in alignment with ourselves. You will have values that butt heads. You will have contradicting values sometimes. And we will have to choose. Sometimes it's not the partnership. Sometimes it is this thing that we really, really want. But then sometimes, if we don't really take the time and the space to tune in, we go after this thing that we really, really, really want. But we actually want the relationship more. But because we chose this one, then the guilt and the upset that comes in because we've hurt the partner, because the partner has chosen to be hurt. Then we're at odds, and we probably didn't give ourselves permission to have that freedom. We didn't tune in. We didn't really listen to ourselves. We just followed a fleeting feeling. Everybody has freedom to stay, to go, to feel, to show. And a lot of times we try to create freedom by creating rules, thinking that, oh, if we create rules, then we're free to do whatever it is that we want. And yet I would question, where are those rules coming from? A lot of times they're coming from a place of woundedness or fear. We can do this thing at this time, and not with these people, and not with this person, but we're back here at 10 p.m. Or we have to call each other every single day. Or we can only date these people, but not these people. And by doing so, a lot of times we end up creating ourselves a prisoner, because then we are looking out for the behaviors of the other person to make sure that they're following that rule, or to make sure that we're following that rule. And how can we relax into this if we're hyper vigilant of everybody's actions instead of giving freedom and letting each person choose the partnership from a place of authentic excitedness and desirable. Desiredness? Desirable. Sometimes the partner doesn't choose what we would want them to choose. And yet, doesn't it feel better knowing that they're choosing from a place of authenticity versus choosing from a place because they felt pressured, guilty, manipulated, obligated? You already have freedom, so you can relax your body and come back into the flow. Just remember to speak.